Carson Wentz has officially been traded to the Indianapolis Colts. Let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL. Here to talk about this breaking news because it is pretty substantial, and we're going to talk about it from all angles. Don't you worry about that. But before I do, as always, if you're new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. If you have not done so already, make sure you guys have hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video, because I do so very often. And make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. Links down below on screen for my Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Reach out, ask questions. Do what it is you got to do. Let's get into it. All right. I have a lot to say. But we must first start with the trade itself. All right, so Carson Wentz got traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. It is official. Obviously, we got the tweet from Adam Schefter, so we know it is pretty official. And let's talk about the trade details first, all right? What did the Colts get? What did the Eagles get? And here is the trade, all right? The Colts get Carson Wentz, duh. The Eagles get a 2021 third-round pick, a 2022 second-round pick that can potentially turn into a first-round pick depending on some incentives, like Carson Wentz has to play 70% of the snaps, 75% playing time for the season, things like that, all right? But that is essentially the trade itself, all right? So I've got a lot to talk about, and here's where I'll start with. This trade for the Colts made all the sense in the world. All right? This was, I would say, the definition of a calculated risk. All right? Remember, I am not a fan of Carson Wentz. I believe he is broken. I have been telling you guys this ad nauseum with the rumors about Carson Wentz potentially being traded to the Chicago Bears. And I had been adamant in saying, I don't want Wentz. But I kept telling you guys, if I'm the Colts, yes, I would trade for Carson Wentz. Why? Because of Frank Reich, because of the good defense, because of the good offensive line, the elite coaching staff, of course, that includes Frank Reich. Those are the reasons. And for the Colts, to not even have to give up a first-round pick, which, again, to me was ludicrous, the fact that the Eagles were even demanding a first-round pick. In fact, you should be giving me picks to take Carson Wentz off your hands, all right? But that's essentially what happened here in terms of the Colts not even having to give up a first-round pick. They give up a second-round pick and, of course, the third-round pick. But, of course, there's a potential for it to be a first-round pick. But all in all, I say that to say the Colts made a calculated risk, and I like it for the Colts. But thank goodness he did not get traded to the Chicago Bears. That was the other team that was heavily favored in terms of the odds to land Carson Wentz. It was the Bears versus the Colts, really. And we'd been hearing that Ryan Pace may outbid himself, like he was really going after Wentz, and the Bears coaching staff, Matt Nagy, thinking they could fix Wentz. We had been hearing all these things. And Indy saved the Bears maybe from themselves by getting Wentz. And I had even made a video about this, and I never got to post it. And I probably won't post it now because it was the video talking about Carson Wentz not even wanting to be traded to the Bears because he wanted to go to the Colts. And I don't blame him. I would want to go to the Colts too, not because I believe the Bears are a dumpster fire or anything like that, but because the situation for him fits better with Indy. All right? It just does. Frank Reich is the only guy who has made it work with Carson Wentz, and he can make it work again. Think about it, folks. The Colts are a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender. That's all they need, a quarterback. And what better quarterback that is available? I mean, there's Deshaun Watson, of course, but we know that they would never trade in division. But quarterback that is available to acquire in Wentz, who essentially was playing his best football under your current head coach, Frank Reich. So that's why it made all the sense in the world. But for the Chicago Bears, for the life of me, I couldn't understand Bears fans wanting to go all in for Wentz. I wasn't in it. I wasn't at all bought in on Carson Wentz for the Bears. This is why I tell you guys, fit, system matters so much in the NFL, right? We always talk about Patrick Mahomes, right? Patrick Mahomes without Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, yeah, he's still incredible. He's He's obviously the best quarterback in football. But you take away weapons, you take away Andy Reid, you can't tell me that won't have any impact on him. So system matters. And for the Bears, it was just not a good fit with Carson Wentz. So I'm telling you guys that to say this. If the Colts end up being very good, Carson Wentz turns around, they go to the playoffs, they win 11, 12 games, don't feel bad because that would not have happened in Chicago. All right? If Carson Wentz had come to Chicago, it would not have happened. All right? So that's why I'm saying don't feel bad. Certain guys work in certain situations. So again, overall, for the Colts, calculated risk. I like it. Solid move for them. All right? They needed a quarterback. This was a good move. The Eagles, they're eating a lot of dead cap. I think the largest dead cap in NFL history, $33 million. It's crazy. I think for the Eagles, after all the smoke that we're blowing about getting, 2 first-round picks for Carson Wentz, they end up not even getting potentially one. But for the Eagles, I thought it was okay. Nothing great. And here's why I'm not going to say it was a total disaster for the Eagles. They needed to move on from Carson Wentz. You cannot go into next season with Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts. No, it would have been a disaster for your new head coach, just a disaster for the team, because you don't know who the guy is, right? Carson Wentz wants to start. Jalen Hurts, you had him as the starter after you bench Wentz, and you want him to go back to the bench again, even though he didn't, deserve it because he didn't play poorly when you started him. The season just ended because it was so late. So it needed to happen. You needed to trade Carson Wentz. So to me, I like the fact that they traded him, but as far as compensation, nothing great. And as far as the Chicago Bears, I think they come out winners from this because they don't have to obviously trade for Carson Wentz. Now, they can't trade for Carson Wentz because he's officially an Indianapolis Colt, and I think it would have been a disaster if they did. So that's how I'm feeling about this, guys. Let me know what you guys think about Carson Wentz to the Indianapolis Colts. Again, love it for them. Eagles, I'm man. And the Bears, I think, come out winners just because, again, the Colts saved us from ourselves. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching.